Welcome to the group Zoom call. Oh, God damn it. Group call. Group Zoom call, sorry. YouTube call. As you know, we've moved these calls over to YouTube since the last few months now. But interestingly enough, for members, there's over 100 plus calls in our YouTube unlisted group, unlisted thing. Jesus, I sound weird this morning. It's probably because I only got to bed at 4 a.m. So I only had about 4 hours sleep. So not the best idea, especially if you're trying to have a live YouTube video. But anyway, I will catch up. I'll catch up. So as usual, we've had the. Should I make sure everything's on? Everything is on. Yes. Yeah. We've had the signal chart displaying. So, a lot of you guys are manually trading this. We need to set up a live session of actually trading this chart. I haven't had the time to actually do that for you guys, but there's so much detail in the training video. So I think when I created this chart originally, I actually documented myself trading the chart, and as I was trading it, I was actually creating the document for it, and I actually was live trading it during that. So for those unfamiliar with that, it's a good idea to go and review that document to understand how to trade this specific signal chart that you're looking at. And even if you guys had to rewind this or watch this video from the beginning, I think I started the call, or I started the video or the screen sharing when the price was somewhere around here. And if I remember correctly, we had this orange breakout marker up there. So that signified a reversal, a price reversal. We had a tomato colored bar, which obviously stayed there. The price reversed. Came back down to this Fibonacci level, which is the 38.2 on the 4 hour charts. This white line you're seeing here, the 50, that is the 1 hour Fibonacci level. So basically different price retracement levels based on different time frames. So very, very, very powerful. And as you can see, they're quite accurate, even late on Friday, or even this morning as the market opened, or this evening in the US, 6 p.m. came up, touched this 50, came back down, broke through, and then, started floating around these Fibonacci levels. Now it looks like it's going to be going up. And from here, there isn't much resistance up until, 18,620. That's the next Fibonacci level there. So bit of room up to go on this one by the looks of it. Okay, great. So even for those guys who are using the complementary tools, my video was actually blocking the thing. Let me take that off. Even for you guys using the complementary tools, if I go and open up a new chart, say I take one of these charts and I duplicate this in a new tab, and I make this a 20 range. We don't need to use 5 days. We can use 3 being a Sunday. We'll just capture, Friday's data. You always need to have a little bit of data in the background. And if I go to this if I go to the template and I load, you'll see that the complementary tools also come with a template, a workspace and chart templates. So even loading those up, this is what you would be looking at on your side right now. So from the beginning of the session, I'm not sure which markers would have been here, but our most recent one would have been this one here at 6:15 p.m. New York time, and has gone up 199 ticks since that marker presented. So, incredible signals that this generates. So hopefully you guys are making good use of it. The guys that aren't familiar with the DTB system, great little scalping tool. And then, you can obviously progress to, the higher, or progress to a subscription, because obviously you're going to have a lot more information available to you, including those Fibonacci levels. So you'll see why price is reversing at certain points instead of, so you can act on those reversals also. Okay, great. So let's have a look at our results for last week. We can jump straight into that. So last week I was quite active with my coding and programming. It was really a week dedicated to making sure that the strategy that we're working off, is just ironing out any little bugs or little issues, overcoming obstacles, from caused by, various different things. So, just a lot of troubleshooting, a lot of coding in the background. So I have released a new assembly. I actually released one late last week on Friday or Thursday for Friday, but then I also just did a little bit more touching up on it and released a new one yesterday, or 5 hours ago. So that is available. It's the 3rd of June, and that is available right now. So you guys can update that. So last week, thank you so much to the guys posting your results. So, thanks for I know this was for the previous week, but, those posted during the week. So we had a holiday too, obviously Monday. We had a few people not trade. I didn't particularly trade either. We had some manual scalping. So, obviously using like the signal chart that we were just looking at, just doing some manual scalping based on what you're seeing on those charts. Absolutely amazing to do that. And I did run a game plan, I think for the 30th of May. So I actually had the RTY made 966 net loss on that template. MNQ 200 on that template, 185 on the next one, and so on. So, and we also had the gold rollover. So not a very good week to trade the gold on auto, because as soon as you have contract rollover, it's basically a shit fight, because you have all the banks and institutions having to close off and exit their positions on a previous contract and move over to a new contract. So there's a lot of activity and completely erratic market behavior the first few days of contract rollover. I mean, as you can imagine, the institutions are forced to go onto a new contract. So they're going to jump in, make decisions on where they are. So you're often going to have, not the most intelligent behavior at the beginning of a new contract. So that is what's happening over there. So not really good to trade in that week of contract rollover. Or if you do, try just do a little bit of scalping, but preferably not on the automated strategies, because they're relying on more type of consistency in the market with regards to normal trading behavior, not the trading behavior around contract rollover. So hopefully that helps. All right, perfect. So we got that. What did I want to cover today? Let's have a look. Oh yes, so our game plan. So I'll look at this. Like I said, it had no resistance at all up until that 61.8. So that's one of the cool things about this template, about the strategy and about the indicator that you have behind you. Well, the Fibonacci levels isn't really an indicator. It's more like a necessity behind the scenes showing you institutional levels. So, it's not an indicator per se. It's more like a market measuring tool. So, as soon as the price breaks through, or as soon as it breaks through a Fibonacci level that it struggled with before, and there's no level above it, like immediately above it, that's basically saying that there's no resistance for that price to slow down. So very often, once price does break through a level, it will shoot to the next one pretty quickly. And that's kind of exactly what happened there. We got 80 ticks in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes. So those are good things to watch out for. When you're trading, when you're scalping, watch for when price, works around these Fibonacci levels, bounces off them, has a bit of unsurety, and then as soon as there is no resistance, as soon as important levels have been broken, that's when you can jump in for a nice trade. Now, the next level, like I said, was the 61.8. The price touched it literally by a ball hair. And now we have another divergence error over there. So, these are the levels that the institutions are working off. So 99% of traders out there won't even know what these levels are. I mean, they're looking at this for the first time and thinking, shit, what is that? But these are the levels that the banks and institutions are looking at. And that's why you're going to get price reversals. You're going to get market action around these levels, because that is where they are actually acting. And everybody else is just trying to follow along, use trend lines and work out, oh my God, where possibly is price going, based on some outdated method. Anyway, so I love this chart. It's really awesome. Okay, workspace. Let's have a look at our game plan workspace. So as I mentioned, I updated the game plan for the week ahead. I did this late last week. So we're going to be using these templates in this in this game plan. And you'll also notice, actually, before I continue, if anybody wants to ask questions or comments on anything, just pop it in the group calls chat on Discord. Okay, it's this one over here, group calls, and then you can chat, you can ask questions in there. That'll be great if you want to cover anything. Okay, so this week what I've done is I have created the templates myself, just for the week ahead. And what I've done is I've actually made all of these templates only enter trades twice. So as you know, the baseline week trader can enter up to 4 positions at different price levels. So if the price went to a certain level, it'll enter limit orders. And then if the price goes a bit higher, it'll enter into the first limit order. And then if it goes higher again, into the next limit order, higher again, the third, and so on to the fourth. But what's happened last week is, some people have gone and commented about the Apex rules about the trader funding. So we'll cover that in a moment. But what I've done this week is I've centered around that, or those rules, with these templates. So you're going to have the strategy enter 2 limit orders when a signal is generated, and these are going to be the trade size. So the first one's going to be a trade size 1, the second one's going to be a trade size 2, and then on the MNQ I've got a trade size 4 as the first order, and then if the price goes up again, the next order is going to be trade size 1. So all of them are centered around entering a trade, and if the price continues going against you, it will enter 1 more position. And in that way, you're not breaking any of those Apex rules, that are applied to everybody. So that's what these templates are. So you're going to notice that because they're entering fewer positions, they are going to have slightly lower overall performance, because obviously we're entering fewer positions, but they're still pretty good templates. They're still pretty decent, even for the MNQ, small account holders, you've got you've only got 3 micro contracts in total if all orders had filled. So that's what I'm going to be running for the week ahead. You guys are, feel free to do the same. I do like the one of gold too. This one looks pretty awesome. This one actually did well on Friday too, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I've put this in, and I've also made some notes at the bottom regarding the use of the account daily stops and targets. So I encourage you guys to use this week. And basically what this does is, you can set up, and I've given an example here. So I said, my current accounts balance at this stage was 89,000, and and I want all strategies to stop trading when the account hits 92,000, and I'm prepared to let the account drop to $85,000, for all trading to stop. So obviously this can be set at the beginning of the trading week if you're doing a target for the week ahead or even for the day ahead. It's just that if you're going to do it for the day ahead, you've got to come in and adjust the settings in the strategies. And it has to apply to all of the strategies. So any strategy you're running, all the strategies you're running on a specific account have to have the same settings in it, because they're obviously all going to be linked to the values that you are putting in here. So read through this. It's quite self-explanatory if you haven't used it before. And I would like to get some feedback to make sure that this is working 100%, because I have been told before that there were some issues with it. So I'm hoping it is now 100%. A lot of work went into the back of that. Okay, so regarding the Apex thing, let me just have a look. Here we go. Okay, so according to these guys, Apex, they've got some sort of restriction over there which relates to multiple entries. Now, the thing is, this will be a blanket rule to all people. Now, I know that at least one of you has been in contact with Apex directly, and you have shown your specific trading history, and shown that you're not just entering orders randomly. So obviously, I think what Apex is trying to do is, their business model would be to find the traders who are successful, at generating returns, and then give them performance accounts and let them trade. But ultimately their goal is they want to be able to copy trades that you enter so that they can earn revenue off successful trading, to successful traders. So that's basically their model. Now, they don't want to have people just, entering trades and then spamming more trades. So you can imagine if, what they're trying to stop doing is they're trying to get people to, say for example, you're entering a sell order over there, okay, for whatever reason. They're trying to stop people from entering multiple sell orders as the price is going against them, hoping that, the price is going to reverse. So, and then spamming, the sell, just to get an overall, average position that, only requires a smaller turnaround before you make profit. So they're trying to avoid that, which obviously makes sense because, very often, because you're trying to guarantee the price reversing. So you keep entering positions, and that's when you get caught out. So people will end up losing a lot of money if they are trying to force the market to turn around, or they putting too much emphasis, or they're putting too much belief in the price reversing. So that's obviously the wrong approach to have, because the market's going to do what it's going to do, and you can't put too many trades in a specific direction, because it's just not the right way of doing it. Because the market's going to do what the market's going to do. So I can understand the approach, but in saying that, if you can show them a systematic way that your strategies are entering positions, you're not just randomly entering positions. If you can show them a systematic way like we have, and like some of you have done, then they will allow you to enter multiple positions, because you can actually show them that it's a systematic way and it has generated positive results overall. So keep that in mind. And then, obviously, as more and more of you contact them directly, they will work with you differently, because obviously the way they're going to work with you with the proper system in place, They're going to work differently to you compared to random people entering manual trades, hoping for the best, entering multiple positions at different price points. So, think about that. But for this week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to specifically just follow their rules just for interest sakes. And in Australia, we call it for shits and giggles. I'm going to follow their very specific rules on these templates, because I think generally everybody that's got an account originally, like a performance account originally, they're going to have to demonstrate that they can obviously follow the basic rules first of all, and then as they grow and develop a record with the company, and whether it's Apex Trading or it's with any of the other funded company. I don't endorse any of them myself, but whichever one you are using, whether it's there's a whole lot of others. There's actually a shitload of them. But whatever you are doing with them, if you can build up consistency with them and then show them what your plan of action is, and at the end of the day, if they don't accept that you've got a systematic way to trade, then obviously you should get rid of them as a company, because if they don't accept a proper systematic way, then their business model is not catered to people being successful at trading. Their business model is catered to getting people to trade on sim and taking a subscription from you. So, you gotta, that's why, they will work with you. The right companies will work with you, but only if you can show a consistent, demonstrated, systematic way of entering multiple positions. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, cool. So over here, I'm just going to, for the benefit of those new to the system and just working with the strategies, I'm going to pull up this game plan again, just very quickly, which is over there. So the first thing you would do when looking at the game plan document is obviously watch the last video. So if you are not on this live call, then when you open up the game plan, the first thing you would do is obviously look at the chat first. So you're going to be alerted inside the chat, which is the game plan chat, and that's going to tell you guys, okay guys, we are ready for the game plan. The game plan has been updated. Everything in there. Get ready to trade for the week. There's your link at the top. So that'll take you to the game plan. And this is I've even made this publicly available. So this link, when you click on it, will take you to the game plan for the week ahead. So you can save this as a favorite in your I've saved it as a favorite. Oh, piss off, wrong button. Oh, come on. Template documents. So I've saved it as a favorite, and basically you can access it and just read the information. So very important to read this. Make sure that you are on the latest assembly, if that's important. If it's not as important, I would say, 3 June or 1 June or 20, May, whatever. But I'll tell you which assembly is needed to be able to trade the game plan effectively. And then it tells you obviously how to do that. And then it says, for the trading week ahead, run the script file that you have, which comes with the DTB system, obviously, and then load up the workspace. So that's what I did, a moment ago. I went into the workspaces, workspace, and I select the game plan. So that's going to be there automatically once you've run your script, which is really good. And then it's going to tell you, these are the templates that we're going to run this week. So we're going to be running, the RTY, running 2 different MNQs, running an NQ, and then 2 gold. So the 2 gold templates, the one is going to be 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. So trading the overnight hours. And the next one is going to be trading from 8:45 to 11:30. and it's even telling you what the sizes are. So that is pretty cool. So so we'll load up the first one. So now this is going to be slightly different because I put the screenshot on. Excuse me. Shit. I did the screenshot on Thursday before the session. So before the trading session happened, I took a screenshot of this. And this is also helpful for you guys because if you only start trading on the Tuesday or the Wednesday, you can still look at this game plan. You can start any time in the week. And I'll show you how in a moment. So I took the screenshot on Thursday. And what I've done is I've also taken the historical performance. So we'll go according to what it says over here, which is basically load the workspace, which we've done. And we're going to load up the RTY, the first chart, and we're going to load template number 5. So that is the one that we got there. So I'll just go out of it. I'll go out of it here and just deactivate this. Okay. So you go, you add the baseline week trader, which is what the game plan will tell you to do. And then you go into the templates and you go load, and you can load it up there. So this matches whatever you're seeing over there is matching exactly what the game plan document is telling you. So I'm trying to be as clear as possible to everybody. So there's no, there's no confusion about how to actually work with this. So loading that up, click on the load, and over the only thing that you would do, which explains on the document too, is you will go and adjust, your account. Your account target. So if you want to select a specific trading account, you will select it in this drop down, and that's where you will go select your account target and stuff, obviously, which is explained at the bottom of this document, which was the details over here. So all of your strategies that you're running, if you are running them on the exact same account, then you would fill in those details there. So once you've done that, and you don't have to use these, you can let the strategy trade as it's normally going to trade anyway. So the strategy is automatically going to stop when it hits 2,500 profit, and it's going to automatically stop when it hits $1,200. But say, for example, you've got multiple strategies and you want to target $4,000 for the day. Then all the strategies will stop when that value has been hit. Okay, so you'll just go in and then you'll activate the strategy. You'll choose your account. So you'll have to choose your account in 2 locations. So obviously if you want to choose your account over here to manage an overall account stop, target, and trading drawdown, you select it over there. But if you only want the strategy to manage the strategy stop and target, you just select the account in the second area here. And once you've done that, you click on enable. I always go enable, apply, and OK. You can also go enable and OK. I don't know, it's just a habit. Enable, apply, OK. And at least with that, if I look at the chart and something looks out of whack, I'm already in this window. I can click on the button again and then go check settings. Whereas obviously if you check enable and OK, the window goes away. But you can almost do that a second time. So anyway, looking at this chart, now obviously if you look at this chart, you'll see, scroll back. So obviously this was done before the session, right? I did this before the trading session, and you'll say, oh, well, you starting later in the week. And then you'll see, well, this doesn't look right. This is 5,000. This is 5,500. What is the difference over there? So, well, that's why I put on the second screenshot over here, because at any time you load up your strategy, you can go and look at your real time and historical performance. Okay, and look at the analysis tab. And this is going to tell you historically, what that strategy performed like. And as you can see, we've got the days there. It's a bit small, but 387, 774, 774, minus 255, and then that was the last day because that was the 30th of May. But the strategy traded on the 31st of May and made, $870 that day. So that's why you will notice, this looks slightly different. And that's the cool thing, is even if you're starting later on in the week, you can still look at previous days on here to see if it matches the strategy that you've loaded. And obviously, once that is right, then you have, you're good to go. Okay, so do that with all of the templates on the game plan over here. And they're all in there, and that'll see us through for this week. So we'll see how we go. I've only activated this so far on my sim, but I'm going to activate these later on my live account, and show those results for the week ahead. Okay, so if there's not any other questions, I'll just check the chat over here. Don't think so, no. But yeah, there wasn't too much else to cover. I am working on a few little things on the back end. I'm still working on a few tools, just making sure that I'm delivering the very best I can. But I did mention last week that I'm only going to release new assemblies after every single thing I'm adjusting or creating has had a major real-time testing environment of a week. So I'm not going to release major updates because it bit me in the ass over the last 2 weeks releasing something and then having to spend an entire week just patching and fixing up little things. So I don't want to inconvenience you guys. I want to make sure that what you have works. So that is what we're going to do, and hopefully we will continue progressing ahead and then go from there. So I think there's one question coming through in this. With regards to the taken and run automated strategy, that's on the Medina Wick Trader, right? I'm still working on that. But while we're talking about that, the whole auto optimizing process is a hell of an undertaking. I mean, I'm literally reinventing the wheel when it comes to trading, and this whole auto optimizing and setting up these different ways of optimizing and running the strategies. It is quite a mission, but I'm going to show you something about that in a moment. And it's regarding the Medina Wick Trader, which is actually very, very important to look at. But also for any of you guys who are loading up this workspace, so say for example you're loading up the workspace and you're looking at the game plan for the week ahead, okay, which is this one over here. You're looking at the game plan and you think, I don't actually want to run, this exactly how this is. So what I've done is I've actually provided the strategy analyzer over here too. So part of the workspace is the strategy analyzer. So you can go and rerun any of those templates in the game plan, okay, because these templates were created using the strategy analyzer. So any of these, all of these templates are basically on these tabs over here from 1 to 6, and you can go rerun any of them. You can change target ticks, you can change stop ticks, you can even change the, how many orders you take. So if you want to take the third and the fourth entry, you can do that. You can adjust any of these values. You can adjust the trade sizes, and then you can rerun the optimization. And if you have different results because you've got different settings, then you obviously can run those. But at least what this is doing is it's giving you a foundation to work off if you want to adjust anything. So as an example, some of you might want to adjust the NQ. Maybe you want to have a different, like I'll just run this again as an example. I'll just run this again. Actually, I'm just going to run 2 and 2. I'm not going to do the full optimization on this. I'm just going to go and run that. So you might decide that you want to rerun this optimization, first of all, like this, and even choose your dates. If you want to have very specific dates, you can run that. But I'm just going to run this to get a result. And then we'll have a look at this one once it completes. Okay, so that specific one that we did was on the 258. That was the actual setting according to the game plan. And I think this strategy actually had a losing day on Friday. So if you ran the strategy on Friday, which I basically said to you guys not to do on live because it was the last day of the month and a Friday, which is a double shit fight in my humble opinion. So, you know, definitely, guys, in future, do not trade automated strategies or, do not trade automated strategies on a Friday that is the last day of the month. That's like a double whammy. But anyway, those specific settings would have lost, that on Friday. So say, for example, you want to run this strategy. You think, well, you know what? I want to adjust some of these settings. I want to go, and instead of having a 3 and a 1, I'm going to go, a 3 and a 3, or you might even say, you know what, I want to just go a 2 and a 2 instead. So instead of going a 3 and a 1, you want to go a 2 and a 2. And then you can take that and you can rerun those optimizations. Okay, let's go 2 to 8, 2 to 58, and you got the exact same entries and the exact same targets, but you've just got, two trades of 2 and 2 instead. Now, what this is going to do is obviously going to run the optimization. It's going to have about 200 odd iterations to run through. And then, this is going to spit out different results. So, that might also be something that you might decide to do. So, the great thing about this is you've got a foundation to work off, for the game plan. And, eventually I'm going to have more people contributing and actually in-house staff that are going to create multiple different game plans for different instruments so that different people can, take part in, different trading sessions. So it's going to develop into a really tailor-made solution for many people. But for right now, it's basically only a few of us working on these templates. But, that's obviously going to really increase once, the whole trading room is opened and the whole support center for individuals and, live trading sessions. I mean, I've got an amazing plan ahead for you guys. So when that comes into fruition, it's going to be quite spectacular. But while we're doing this, let's have a look at these results as an example. So all that we've done here is we've changed the trade size. Okay, well, you might not like those results. You might think, okay, well, the drawdown is a bit too much. Or you might navigate through this and say, okay, well, what about this one over here? Well, that's only got 23 trades. Probably still not ideal because, look, it doesn't have any good, solid, price. It hasn't got any good, solid, returns on this one. So, you might run a few different settings and then you might think, well, maybe I should adjust some other values, maybe the stop ticks or maybe the target ticks. So, once you become familiar with the strategy itself and how to specifically optimize it, working with the different entries, that you want to work with and their own specific target ticks and stop ticks, the trading hours, you also might decide that you want to run from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. and then you can put those hours in there instead. we've just chosen a small window of time, which is obviously the most active period. And then there's a few options you could target. I mean, you might want to target a different daily profit, so you can adjust that in there. So that's why I basically included the strategy analyzer itself in the game plan template, or in the game plan workspace, so you can go and individually run your own optimizations or rerun optimizations and see what you want to do. Okay, so there's one cool thing I wanted to show you. So some of you guys might remember this, but I'm just going to get out of this workspace and go back to this one and bring up the Medina Wick Trader strategy. So remember earlier how I was talking about, you can't enter multiple trades if the price is going against you, like with these funded account programs. Well, this is going to help a little bit in that regard. So I'm just going to duplicate this in a new tab over here, and I'm going to take off these indicators. Okay, and then I'm going to just make this like I'll just make it a 5-minute chart. Okay, just for that. Actually, you know what? Let's make it a trending baseline chart. Okay, so DTB bars. Let's go for like a 200, and we just need 3 days on this. We don't need break at end of day on this one. So this is going to obviously show us a trending baseline. Okay, so this is showing us this is what price has been doing. It's forming these baselines. These are the wicks. Now, for shits and giggles, some other company has copied this bar type, but they've done such a shit job at it. They've obviously not realized some fundamentals about it. So don't even waste your time. Okay, so looking at this bar type and looking at the Medina Wick Trader strategy. So if you go into the strategy settings and we go to the Medina Wick Trader strategy, you will see on here that it has a no entries beyond unrealized profit and loss condition value. So this here is a very, very smart thing, because what it does is if you're in a negative balance, if you're currently in a trade and you're in a negative balance, this strategy will not enter more positions until you are in a positive balance. So it's basically following that rule that we spoke about earlier. So if I just activate this on this, I'll do it on the Sim 101. So if I activate this and I just make the retracement fairly low, okay, this is what that's going to do. So I'll just apply this. So what's going to happen here is the strategy is going to enter positions based on how it's programmed to do, which is the retracement levels. And then it's going to respect these values. Now, I'm hoping it still does that. I haven't made any adjustments to the strategy since that feature was introduced. I mean, there's nothing around this this feature yet, but it's going to make sure that you're not entering trades, multiple trades, when you are in a negative balance. So that is what that is going to do. I've got to press the start button, which will be helpful. So, this is going to trade the wicks. Okay, that's why it's called the Medina Wick Trader. So basically, as the price forms wicks, it's going to, enter positions back to, and it's going to trade the price back towards the baseline. And you're going to be able to activate to space out the trades. You're going to be able to delay your first trade, all of that. So, I mean, this is also a good strategy to run for a small period of the day. So some of you guys, I know some of you guys who love the strategy, you trade it, for the market open for 10 minutes, and you're able to generate a few $100s in just those few minutes of trading, because obviously the price is jumping a lot, it's moving a lot. So like that over there. So now we should not see any more trades while we're in a negative balance. Okay. I've also got the space out trades. I mean, I've got it very close, but you can do the space out trades, nice and close. So you can say, well, I don't want any trades within 5 ticks of each other or 10 ticks of each other. And then that value will be respected. But what should happen now is if the price goes into positive and there's a retracement, it will enter a new position. But then if it comes back again against you, it's not going to enter any more positions. So, obviously you can choose where your first trade is to. I mean, this is a phenomenal strategy, because you can basically choose where you want to enter your position. So you see over here, I've got the minimum distance. So you can say, you know what, I don't want any trades to enter before the price touches this level. So obviously the strategy is going to enter positions between the minimum distance and the maximum distance. So imagine if this wick came all the way down, it'll only enter within this area. And then it will only enter positions. It will only enter additional positions if the price is moving towards the wick. So, as you can imagine, the price moves back to the baseline most of the time. I mean, you don't get multiple baseline breaks in a row very often. That's what, I mean, this is why this highlights the price movement so beautifully. But, you can choose very specific points on the wick to enter positions, and you can make this a narrow range or a thick or a wide range, because obviously you've got the, the setting over here, which can be adjusted in real time. But you can choose a very specific section of the wick to enter positions. And then, the price is either going to, return to the baseline, or it's going to break to the new baseline. But the cool thing about this is, first of all, it's not going to enter trades beyond the maximum distance, but it also will not enter positions if the price has gone against you, and if you're in a negative balance and you have that setting activated. So I just wanted to show you. I don't want to go into major detail about the strategy, because we've done that on previous calls, but that feature over there is going to, no entries beyond unrealized profit and loss conditions. So that there is going to ensure that if you are on a funded account program and, you want to make sure you're not going to have those rules broken and you want to trade the strategy, then that is the setting that you would need to use. And that's going to obviously protect your account. All right. Again, it's not going to enter positions right now, because the strategy is not going to enter positions at this moment, because I've got the minimum distance reduced, you see, or increased. So if I've got to bring this minimum distance all the way back, and now obviously it's going to enter positions in this range, because I've now widened the range to this value instead. So I love the strategy. You can trade this on a trending baseline, or if you want to open up a flat baseline, that's another way of doing it. So I don't know, you might want to go to a 400. This is a 400 tick, like this. You can say, okay, well, what is price looking like on a 400 tick chart? Well, look at that. It's like, that's like shot up. That's crazy. That's freaking crazy. So you're telling me on Friday, 31st of May, son of a bitch, it basically went up 4, 8, almost 1,200 ticks. That's crazy. There's such huge manipulation going on in these markets. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. But, you know, this is at least showing you where those baselines are. Where is price likely to return to? You know, these are those levels. So the price only has to go from where it is right now. It only has to go up another, let's have a look. So currently the price is this is the price is, right? The price only has to go up another 79 ticks to go and meet this previous baseline. So, you know, it's also a good thing to check out, like, okay, well, where is price likely to go next? I mean, based on what you're looking at over here, there's a very high chance this price is going to go up to at least that baseline. So that's 80 ticks away. So obviously you've got that to look at. And then you know, by looking at your signal chart, you're deciding, okay, when should I activate the strategy? Now, based on what we're seeing over here, okay, we've got a lot of divergences. The price has crept up. We've got our breakout marker left behind over there. We've got a momentum line facing down, but we still have a very, very strong area of support over here because we've got a Fibonacci level over there, which often the price could come back and retest. But isn't it amazing how it just shot up? And again, like I said, there's no resistance for that price up until the next Fibonacci level, which is way beyond, you know, which is where the next baseline would be. So, you know, you've got a very good chance of that price returning to that baseline. And even if you want to load up, you know, the indicator on this chart, which is your Fibonacci levels, it gives you a very, very, very good indication of where those Fibonacci levels are, where the support and resistance levels are. So I'll just load this up very quickly. So you can load up the Fibonacci levels, which obviously is going to show you all the weekly, the monthly, the weekly, 4-hourly charts. But if you don't want to see the 5-minute Fibonacci, you just untick that. So you can, because you don't want to look at 5-minute Fibonacci levels on a big chart. You might even want to take away the hourly ones. In fact, let's remove the hourly Fibonacci levels. So we're only looking at the 4-hour and up. Now that's going to show you where all those levels are. So, and then all of a sudden you start seeing, oh my God, look, that's price coming back up, retesting Fibonacci levels, breaking through, breaking down, you know, working around different Fibonacci levels. So this is very, very, very likely to go up to the next baseline, which is at 18,650. That's basically where the next where the next baseline is going to be. So, you know, that's what you can look at. And as you can see, we trade in the price back towards the baseline over here. And it should enter positions over there. So I've got a smoothing filter average ticked. Yeah, so I've got to basically untick this box. So if I just want to trade purely on price action, then I would take off these smoothing filters by unticking the box, by making them go gray. So now the price, it's only going to act on on these things. So I know I've got to deactivate some of these filters, but yeah, you can do that in the settings anyway. So that's just a good way of trading. So the main thing about this was just telling you that you can trade this strategy without breaking any of those Apex rules or any other funded account program where you've got, there's the next entry. It only entered that position because the price was in positive. Now it hit its target, which was the first target, and it's going to continue entering, so on and so forth. And then obviously it gives you the results at the bottom of the page. As soon as trades are entered and exited, it's going to give you the results. So I love the strategy. This is what I started with. This strategy is basically the foundation of the whole DTB system. Probably the most advanced strategy that exists. I mean, with the amount of technology in here, with the ability to adjust these settings on the fly without having to stop and start the strategy, I mean, it's quite powerful. And imagine if I can get this thing, not if imagine when I get the strategy to be able to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Remotely adjusted. So all of these settings over here, everything you're looking at can be remotely adjusted if I put the technology in there. I've already got that technology, obviously, in some of the other strategies. But, imagine having the strategy running, having somebody behind the scenes working on very specific, looking at signal charts like this, deciding, okay, guys, okay, I'm gonna activate the strategies to start going long now. I'm gonna submit something to the strategy, and the strategy's got started. So it might be on pause for a while, and then it'll be activated on start, or the distances might change. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be remotely adjusted in real time, and and that's what we're going to eventually get to. But we've got such an incredible system. It's out of this world. Hey guys, that is it. Shit, I didn't think I was going to be on here for an hour, especially how I started. I thought I was going to flake out in the first 10 minutes. But anyway, when I speak about the system, when I show these tools, and when I get into it, I get so freaking hyped up and so excited that I don't even need sleep, man. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, guys, have an amazing week. We're going to keep on the game plan this week. Of course, guys, if you want to run different templates, post those templates, because a good way to also test if your templates are working is to post them out to the community. And you're more than welcome to run any templates that you want at any time, obviously. And I'm hoping that game plan is just a good foundation to work off. And obviously, I'm going to be posting my results of that game plan for the week ahead. But, for those who do not trade manually, I know in the past you've obviously had a lot of fear of trading manually, because quite frankly, 99% of all the indicators and tools out there are so shit. It's created so much doubt and confusion. But with these tools, there's so little doubt and confusion. And even with the complementary tools, I mean, shit. I mean, how can you not be successful trading this? So as you guys know, I've actually given these indicators that you're looking at over here, I've actually given them out complimentary to anybody who wants to start somewhere. They don't have to go buy crap, can actually use this and start their trading journey the proper way. So thanks, guys. Have a good one. And thanks, Chris, for the template. Awesome. And guys, please, Christopher is extremely good with these baseline week trader templates. He's got a good history of creating them, much better than I can, to be very honest. So feel free to run those templates and also use them. Work with him too. Maybe you can use his template, do some alterations. Say, hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Have you tried that? You can create some sort of a mastermind around these freaking templates, and discover things between you that you might not have individually thought of, but combined and working in a small group, you come up with amazing ideas and just different ways of optimizing. I mean, there's so many different ways to optimize strategies. I mean, you can become so technically efficient in the exact strategic optimization of the bars. I mean, there's so much involved with analyzing price action. And I'm not talking about stupid, shitty candlestick analysis, which is completely bullshit. Dojis, hammerheads, ball sacks, whatever the hell I want to call them. But, when you're able to optimize tick charts that have got very specific ranges, I mean, like minute bars and volume bars, they can, be completely, how long is a piece of string type of thing. But, when you can optimize and, efficiently analyze tick bars that are a very specific size, and then, work around that, there's a lot of things you can do in that regard. So it's very exciting. and that's why you guys are here, right? Okay, guys, have a good week, and we shall chat later. Okay, guys. Yeah. Be based on Week Trader Mastermind. Thank you. Awesome. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.